рассаживается. Сейчас второй день. Сейчас губернатор Кuyvashev придет.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, damy I gospoda, dobre utro e dobro poszanować. I apologize for my Spasibo. I apologize for my inadequate Russian. That was supposed to be good morning and welcome to day 2 of the Global Manufacturing and Industrialization Summit. I'm Declan Curry. I'm a broadcaster and a journalist from the United Kingdom and from Ireland, and I am honoured to be your moderator in the forum hall here today. This morning we will discuss the importance of developing skills and learning through modern industry and modern societies, and we will affirm and celebrate the absolute centrality of women to our connected digital future. But we begin the day with official opening remarks. Please welcome the Governor of the Sverdlovsk Region, Evgeny Kuyvashev.
Dear friends, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to welcome you here in the land of the Urals, the guests and participants of the Global Summit for Manufacturing and Industrialization. I would like to thank the organizers for their wise decision to choose the Sverdlovsk region as the venue for such a major forum, which discusses the most relevant issues and challenges of today. Today, as the industry's rapid development causes negative impact on the environment, when we are faced with such threats as global warming and shortage of drinking water, exhaustion of natural resources, and other problems, it is especially pressing that we need to consolidate our efforts to address these challenges that are the concern of the mankind. And that is why we have so much interest in biomimetic technologies that do not impact the environment and can restore the disbalance between the biosphere and the technosphere. And biotechnologies are very much in demand in all sectors of the economy. And the scale of their use speaks volumes about the level of development of the society. I think it is very symbolic that this important industrial summit is taking place in Yekaterinburg at almost the same time as the INNOPROM International Expo, the main industrial exhibition of Russia. This allows us to make the discussion of this world issue of manufacturing very pressing, and at the same time it helps transfer innovations to real production. Sverdlovsk Oblast is one of the largest industrial regions of Russia, with high level of concentration of manufacturing facilities, and that is why the topic of the summit is very pressing and relevant for us. We're trying to reduce our negative impact on the environment that is caused by our manufacturing processes. Together with the business community, with the scientists and our civil society, we are looking for innovative solutions and breakthrough solutions that would not impact negatively the environment. We have created a Center for Fundamental Biotechnologies, where they model various physiological processes. Sverdlovsk Oblast actively participates in the implementation of the National Science Project. We are creating implementation centers and research and education facilities of the world class. These centers will focus on developing new manufacturing technologies, new materials with the desired qualities and properties that will focus on fundamental studies and on producing skilled experts in many areas, including in the area of biomimetic technologies. I'm confident that this forum will foster the implementation of breakthrough technologies, will help us improve our bionic developments and will improve the health of our future generations and find solutions to common problems in the area of economy under the conditions of the fourth industrial revolution. I would like to wish all of the participants of the second global summit for manufacturing industrialization a very fruitful forum, very good discussions, constructive solutions, and the best impressions of their stay here in the Urals. Welcome.
So much. We are very grateful for your inspiring and your forward-looking remarks. Digital technologies are reshaping production processes and business models everywhere. Their advance is unabated. The progress that they secure is immense. To maximize the potential of the fourth industrial revolution for economic transformation and productivity, and to ensure that the benefits are enjoyed by society as a whole, we require initiatives to enhance and deepen human skills and learning, and we need forward thinking on inclusiveness and development. To discuss this further, please welcome our distinguished guest, His Excellency Hussein bin Ibrahim Al Adhamadi. Excellency, good morning, and thank you for participating in our discussion today. You are very welcome to this forum. You are the Minister of Education in the United Arab Emirates. If I could remind everyone in the audience to please make sure that your mobile phones are switched to the silent mode. And Minister, of course, you and I will resist the temptation to use our mobile phones during our conversation. Let's start with an overview, an opening perspective from you. How is digitalization of industry, the fourth industrial revolution, how is that reshaping government policy on a whole range of issues, including economic diversification?
First, I would like to thank you very much for having me here. It's my great pleasure to be participating in this beautiful conference, and happy to see education is a discussion in this platform. Honestly, education is a pillar in any industrial revolution or any innovation that's happening in the world. Most of the country, they focus on education as the main pillar to move forward. And currently, with the innovation that's happening and going on, and the pace that we are moving forward, the world is not anymore isolated. It's all connected. We have bigger cooperation that cross borders. We are looking forward for this transition to the fourth industrial revolution, but we have to be careful with this. Honestly, it's not like what happened in the past. This is fast transformation. Yesterday, some of the panelists discussed about how fast it's going to happen, how huge the impact will be in. And I think education and future skill and deepening the skill is a must, it's not an option. And we should really focus and think, how can we adjust our policies, improve our approach about it, how we allocate the right budget and resources, and how we think about possibility. We should not be scared, but we should be open-minded, learn from each other. There is no nation has something perfect, but I think each nation has something unique and beautiful we can learn from, and we should adapt and move forward at a faster pace. You are aware in any government take times, but in UAE we have embarked into the future government. We have established the Ministry of Possibility, and we really would like to move forward in a pace that will enable us to be a major player in the near future.
And as we discussed as a theme throughout the summit yesterday, we want this process of reconfiguration to be inclusive and to be in harmony with nature, to be sustainable in the long term, and we can discuss that element a little bit later in our conversation. But I wonder, Excellency, what inspires your thinking? It is that transformation is coming. You are dependent to some degree on oil and energy at the moment, but that will not continue forever.
Any natural resources going to be depleted over time, you know. And in the UAE, and with the founder of the UAE, the late Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan, has from the beginning of establishing the UAE focused on this. He was a futuristic guy, thinking about the future and the environment. And we honestly implemented a lot of policies about the environment, sustainability in the UAE. Long time ago, but you see it now, people are talking about it and discussing about it. And there's a lot of initiative now happening globally, you know, to be environmentally friendly, to adapt to nature. And these are things that we have to do. There is no option, you know. We need to live in harmony with our environment. But also tapping to what you said is really how can we collectively work together, you know. It's not UAE or another country working in this, or Russia working on this. It has to be a global approach, because whatever happening in one part of the world and impact the other part of the world. I think now there is a coherence about environment, about how we approach science and technology to be friendly to the environment, and how can we create opportunity for everybody, around the globe to have job opportunity, prosperous future, and how can we be connected and become all of us a global citizen. There is tolerances, and in UAE this year we are celebrating the year of tolerances, and understand each other and work as one toward the future of the mankind and the environment.
And education is your area of responsibility, Excellency, and education is essential for developing that vibrant economy that spans a number of different industrial and service sectors. What is your thinking on creating a new education for a new economy, for the new digital environment?
If we go back like 4 or 5 years ago, when I started the ministry, the UAE had a master plan, how to evolve and modify education to adapt to our need and to our industrial master plan. Honestly, we in UAE, we started an education transformation, and early on, in 1971, with the founding of UAE, we had a high school system with a 2-track that was designed for that era. But in 2014, we started again studying and learning from other best practice and trying to modify our education system and transform it to meet our future need and our future plan. So we transformed this K-12 system to introduce new subjects in it. And there was a lot of 21st century skill integrated, critical thinking. We added computer science, we added innovation, we added design and technology. Even we went downward, even to KG1, KG2. Next year, we're going to be teaching them how to solve and discuss a problem and make a simple solution for them. This make the UAE citizen and people living in UAE engage with the issues, the environment, and understanding what's happening in the UAE and around them. Then you come to the higher education, where we started, we embarked into focusing on STEM. We have now Khalifa University, which is in the top 300 university rank. We have UAE University and American University of Sharjah. They are in the 500 club. So we are moving forward, improving our higher education system, working with the K-12 system, and then we start really putting a big emphasis on applied learning and lifelong learning skills. We would like to have any citizen in UAE or living in UAE to master how he can, by himself, continue long life learning and select which career he wants to develop himself and be adaptable. And in the past, if you have a job or 2 or 3, that's enough. But currently, and the future trend will be you will jump from 10 to 15 or 20 jobs in your life. So this skill and reskilling has to be available and possible, and has to be also very, very designed in a way that you enable you to get these skills in a very short time, not a longer time. So these platforms should be available, and with the 4.0 industrialization and digitization, I think so many platforms can be developed. Implementing AI into education is a must, it's not a choice. So all these things is happening in UAE, and we are learning from other nations also.
And this is the fresh thinking that may serve as an example to the rest of the world, not just that there are new subjects, but that you see it as a role of education to make people more flexible, more adaptable, more agile, so they can cope better with the change of the future.
That's right. And honestly, you really have to think very hard when you are the Minister of Education. And we are lucky in UAE, we have 2 ministers supporting us in the Ministry of Education. Plus, recently we have a Minister of Artificial Intelligence, a Minister of Advanced Sciences, and we have a Minister of Food Security. So this trend and the futuristic look of the government of UAE and what we are doing in education and also in the other sector, we are trying to link them together, so they work as a one system toward the future. But the other thing also, you have to learn from other countries. You should not think that what you are doing is right. You should visit and learn and exchange expertise. And what we do each year, we send like around 1,000 plus students, 300 teachers globe to go around the world, maybe to 27 nations, to learn from them and understand what they are doing, and also we do a lot of conferences about education, future of education, future of skills, and this has to continue all the time.
When you say you look at other nations for inspiration, where do you look? Japan, for example, is an example of advanced industrialization and robotics. Are you looking to nations like Japan, like Singapore, for your inspiration?
To be honest with you, is we look at each country has its own unique area and strength. We'd like to learn from them and take what is best and suit UAE futuristic plan. As you said, Japan, South Korea, Singapore, even in Europe, Russia has some areas, you know, the US. But you really have to pick what you really want to do and you can apply in UAE. You just cannot copy a system. It has to be adapted to the need of the nation and your futuristic industrial plan also.
Does it help that you are a smaller nation? Does that mean you can react, your government can react faster? You are more agile than larger nations with a longer industrial history?
To be honest with you, it has nothing to do with the size or with what industry you have. It has to have to the mindset of the government, how the government think. You know, we are lucky in the UAE. We have our leadership. They think, you know, far ahead, and all the time they have such a futuristic session and thinking about the future. There is a statement very clearly stated by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi. He told in a conference, you know, it was a government summit, and he told, we have to have plan to celebrate when we export the last barrel of oil. This sends a strong message, you know, to all the people in the whole and to us as a minister, is we have to all the time plan ahead, you know, not think of today, but we have to think about the future. Because future of any nation depend now on human capital. How much investment you do in your human capital, how you prepare them for the future. What industry you have now, what resources you have now will not save you unless you really invest heavily in your human capital and prepare them for the future and what's going to happen in the next 10, 20, 30 years coming.
And that is exactly the essential point, that in a knowledge economy, it is the human talent and skills at your disposal that make the essential difference. How do you ensure that you are harnessing and maximizing the talent of all of your people, irrespective of creed or gender or orientation or ability? How do you harness the talent of everyone?
Yeah, that is honestly what we are focusing on. You know, we see any human living in UAE or expat is an asset of the future. So our education system should enable any student in the system to reach the maximum he can do. That's why we have created diversity in the education system, you know. As I told you, we start early on, and we have a huge plan now to do the 0 to 8, an early childhood system that enable kids even from year 1, year 2, they can, and their parents get supported. But as you go on in the education system, what you like, what you want to do is the system allow you. So there is a diversity in the system. We have like a stream for the highly gifted, highly talented student academically, but also we have academies for culture, for music, for sport. We innovation everywhere. But what we try to achieve that any kid, before leaving K-12 system, he has the basic enabler, you know, in different areas to enable him to succeed in the future. The challenge in some nations that they say they focus on certain group and the rest of the group, they don't give them the skill. And we even technical and vocational education system, it has an academic strong component of it, because innovation and technology is changing, but the skill set is a higher level of skill will be required in the future. Lower level of skill, routine job will be automated. So, and we should also in the technical and vocational education, we should move away from routine and repeated jobs.
Okay, so we want every child and every adult to be able to live to their full potential, whatever skill is best for them.
Yes.
But as a nation, as a society,
yes,
we need people with technical skills who understand science and engineering and digitization. How, as a government, how do you encourage interest in science and engineering and develop and unlock those skills?
Yes. We have like a STEM, and now we call it a STREAM initiative. In UAE, we are very proud to say that in our engineering school, which is the next speech will happen, we have 50% male, 50% female, which is a surprise to a lot of people who are visiting UAE to see this ratio. Some nations, like in the STEM or engineering, you will find the female represented by 10 or 20 max, but in UAE it's almost 50-50 distribution. The other thing is STEM is a part of the curriculum. So all the kids who are going through the education system in UAE get exposed and learn the skill of STEMs. Plus, even social science, my dear, now, even social sciences now, and art and music, there is a component of STEM on them, and there is a component of innovation on them. So the classical education system that used to exist 10, 15 years ago is not the right system for the coming 10, 20 years forward. So really, we have to really think seriously about this. This is what we have done in UAE, and it's a life experience, and we'll welcome anybody to come and have a look at it. But also, the curriculum is alive. It's not anymore stagnated curriculum. There's no books or textbook that will be valid for 3 or 5 years. You have to do annual revision, annual updates, and get the expert, and the industry involvement is a must. You have to get the industry on board with you. Otherwise, you are educating for whom?
Yes.
You are educating for industry.
So industry must be involved with education at an early stage,
Yes.
not just training of adults,
No.
but engaged with when people are young, when they are children.
True, true. That's very important, because honestly, if you don't align yourself and the education system with the industries, and you don't get the know-how and knowledge from them. We are lucky in the UAE. We have 200 nationality living in UAE, which is very unique. Plus, we have a lot of high-tech industry in UAE, working in UAE and collaborating with UAE. We have partners with most of them. So this is very unique melting knowledge area in the UAE. And also we do annually, we have like conferences and futuristic thinking tanks. And we are open. We go, and globally we go everywhere, and we participate in conferences, discussion, curriculum development, assessment policies. And we take knowledge to UAE, and also we export knowledge abroad.
And I know from my own travels in your nation that you also welcome universities and academics and knowledge and skill from other nations. You encourage them to flourish.
Yes. And likely now we have like New York University in UAE, we have Birmingham University in UAE, we have Sorbonne University in UAE, and there is other universities that are very interested to have their campus in UAE and coexist with our system. Plus K-12 system, we have like a different K-12 system existing with the government school model, which is UAE. We're branding it under the name of the Emirati school model.
The essential partner in all of this, in delivering excellent education, are the teachers.
True.
And there is work to be done in celebrating the work of teachers, in providing a proper career, in making them realize that they are the heroes of the fourth industrial revolution.
True, that's totally true. Honestly, whatever you do, if you don't invest in teacher and teacher qualification and teacher career ladders, because they are really the asset and they are the backbone for any nation. Unfortunately, over the years, teacher get ignored and became uninterested professional. But in UAE, we are rethinking and we're trying to rediscover and rebrand the teacher as they are like the elite, and we are working now to launch very soon a teacher career ladders, a new qualification system, teacher licensing system. So teacher really they can be engaged, get interested, and their voice get heard. Also, as a minister, I have virtually I created a group that I am part of it, and I have daily discussion with our top 300 to 200 teachers that they change over time. But I listen to them and see what they want and what's the issue they are facing to make their life more easier, but also to take their idea how we can change policy and improve it to make more the teacher careers as professionally recognized, but also as interested for the top achiever in high school to be teacher in the future, because this is how the cycle get put on the right track. You should get the best student who are leaving high school to be interested to join the teacher career.
I think many nations will agree with your emphasis here that a priority must be given to teaching, to education, but government is about choice. It's about deciding where the money is spent, and every department wants its share of the money. What are the conversations that you have with fellow ministers when you argue that there should be more investment in teaching, there should be more investment in education? How do you make your colleague ministers feel that they should also invest in this, even though they want to spend this money in different ways?
Yes. Well, honestly, for us in the UAE, we don't have this issue. I hear it from other nations, but in UAE, we are lucky that most of our minister and even the cabinet and the prime minister, they are very supportive to education, and they see it is the future for the nation. Like, for example, we have the Minister of the Economy here, and he has, from his budget, he brought students to come to this conference, to learn and to understand this. So this positive thinking and mindset in UAE distinguish our government from other government. But also the industry, they need talent. And that is the other thing. You get a lot of support from the industry, because for them to flourish, or the other ministry to flourish, or other sector in UAE to flourish, they know they will not flourish, and they will not be agile, they will not be in the top if they did not have the right human capital. And where the human capital come from, all of them understand, is the education system. So they are all incoherences that we really should invest, work very hard to have the top quality education. And our one of our centennial plan or goals, 2071, is the education system in UAE should be the best education system in the world. So that's a challenge, a nice goal. But everything in UAE is possible, and we're going to go work toward that goal.
You have said several times now, and you're correct to observe this, that it is important that industry is engaged much more deeply than ever before in industry. How should that conversation take place? Is it simply industry saying, we need this, this, and this, coming up with a checklist? Or should the leaders of industry be involved in a deeper discussion about what education is for, what is its purpose?
I think more deeper cooperation and more working group involvement. And also in UAE, we have something called the UAE qualification framework, or a skill framework that we are working in and developing and enhancing all the time. And we have like industry panels that they focus on certain sector, get advice and knowledge. But we do more than that, honestly, because even textbook from K-12, we send it to some of the industries in their area of specialization, and we ask them, how do you feel about this? Do you feel there's enough emphasis in what you think? Is it up to date or obsolete? So we get a lot of feedbacks, especially honestly from the most feedback we get from mainly from the digitalization and from oil and gas and from health. They tell us things are moving in different way. So we have to adapt. There's new terminology about in medicine and engineering and information technology that kids have to expose to and learn now. The other thing, if the population is not educated, honestly, with the new trend in technology and AI and smart application, how they will be capable to use this technology, even if they are not the creator or the innovator in it, but they are going to be the user. Currently now, you have this smartphone, this beautiful gadget. Most of the people, they use 5%. Luckily, if they use 10% of the capacity, what about the 90% of the capacity of this device? So in future, you will have more devices connected, Internet of Things. So you have to be smarter and capable and skilled to be able to use this technology for your benefits.
And that suggests that this discussion needs to be open and collaborative between education and industry. And I make that observation because sometimes when I talk to educators, they are suspicious
Yes.
of industry. They suspect that this is industry trying to dictate the terms.
Yeah.
What is your role as the Minister for Education in encouraging that open, sharing, collaborative approach?
Yeah, the main thing is, first thing you have to put, the government, in UAE we have a government platform, we call it a KPI, like a KPI, government KPI, that come to the Ministry of Education. But also, as a Minister of Education, I have to be creative and put a KPI on universities and school systems and curriculums. And one of these KPIs is how engaging they are in the industry and what is the employability rate and what is the success rate of startup and businesses. So when you put this thing, then you have to create a platform, because whatever you do, if there's no platform, if there is no system in place that enable people to get engaged and work together, it will not happen. That's why we have an UAE qualification framework, is a standalone entities that educator and industries and government, they come together and they discuss different area of focus of studies, and it's not the academical side, it is also the skill set that people, when they finish a program, they will have to graduate in this program. So we are trying to fuse more of a fusion of academia and vocational and technical school in some of the programs to enable our graduate to be ready for work from day one. Unfortunately, sometimes you get a graduate and then he needs 2 years to 3 years invested in him to enable him to do certain job. When you do this bridging and communication early on, this 2 years or 1 year get dissolved into the education system, and the kid will be more able and capable to work in the future, but also to adapt. Is what you mentioned earlier, is adaptability. The skill that, there is certain skill that is shared between a lot of jobs. So this basic skill or joint or common skill has to be put in all the programs, you know.
Two final areas of discussion, Excellency, if I may. Your society, a very hard-working society, is also a very comfortable and affluent society. When people are comfortable today, they sometimes don't worry too much about tomorrow. There is no need to change.
Yes.
Things are wonderful
Yes.
as they are. How do you generate the energy and make the persuasive case that change must be continuous to adapt to the fourth industrial revolution?
This is honestly a challenge. You hit something very important for us, because as you will know, UAE is a very prosperous nation. People are living in a very high quality standard. So to have an education minister coming, tell them I have now to change the curriculum, I have to add subject, I have to change. They say, why? We are in a good shape. Why we have to do that? So what we do is we show them the future and we explain to them what's going to happen, and we show them statistics, and we created something, we call it in the UAE is the National Science Festivals, or we expose people to the current job and future job and the gap of a skill set, and then we train kids in these skills, and we do demonstrate how when the kids, even as young as 4 years or 5 years old or 8 years old, when he gets the skill, he starts producing something and doing some project and innovating in area that we see there's a need for it in the future. So parents, they get engaged, community get engaged, and also the other thing is we do a lot of discussion and panels and parent talks, you know, about this issue, and we try to bring industry to explain to them, you know. And we have a lot, we are lucky in UAE, we host, and different ministry host major conferences in UAE. And the big, we in UAE, no week pass without a big conferences. So we encourage kids and parents to go and attend these conferences and understand what's happening. Honestly, if you ignite the interest in a kid, you have succeeded, you know, because the kid, when he understands there is a need for him, and he's a value to the nation, and his education, the future of the nation will depend on it, he starts doing amazing stuff, and he perform out extraordinary. In UAE also, we think about our identity as a UAE, you know. As I said, there's 200 nationalities living in UAE. If you lose our identity as a UAE citizen, then it's also another issue. So we have to balance all these things into a system in a place. But and thank God we are moving in the right direction. And as I said, what we do is what we learn, but we continue improving. Each year we improve and we enhance to make sure that we are on the right tracks. Because if you stay stagnant for 1 or 2 years, you might go behind. So this is the challenge. The challenge is this continuous enhancement and continuous engagement and getting yourself updated and benchmark internationally. That's very important also.
And just one final reflection, Excellency. One of the overarching themes of this summit is how we achieve progress that is in harmony with nature, economic progression and digitization that is sustainable. How does that influence your work as Minister for Education? How important is that agenda to you?
This is very, very important to us, and this is very close to our heart. As I stated, UAE was founded by the late Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan, and the beginning of UAE, environment and sustainability was part of our culture. And we have, when I was a kid, I grew into this kind of environment. And holistically, UAE is very sensitive about the environment and the impact to the environment. And even we are an oil-producing country, by the way. We started a long time ago investing in renewable energy. We have the Master Institute. We have solar power in UAE. We have research investment, huge ones. And we have invested in a lot of companies that is pioneering in renewable energy and environment-friendly innovation and technology. And we teach our kids, that is the environment we are living in is very important to us, and how can we work with it in a positive way, and we learn from the environment and protect the environment. That said, UAE also has done a lot of initiative. We host the UAE in UAE. We are lucky that we went to host the arena in UAE, and there's a lot of discussion on forums. And a few weeks ago, we signed an agreement with them how to put sustainability and environment into the education system in UAE, and we're going to learn a lot from them to really make forward more steps toward that.
Some fascinating insights, Excellency. Thank you so much for sharing your thinking with us. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking His Excellency, Minister Al-Hamad.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Excellency. We will affirm and celebrate the centrality of women in technological progress, the essential contribution that women have to make to our connected digital future at 11:30. That will be the next session in this hall. And just to remind you that at 12:30 today, we also have a special awards ceremony also here in this hall. So we will adjourn for now to allow you to network and to have a short coffee break. Sessions will resume again in this hall at 11:30 and in other halls between now and then. Thank you very much.